President-elect Donald Trump is now tasked with building his cabinet. As a running mate finalist, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum may have a role in the administration. Valley News Team's Eric George spoke with the governor, who is waiting on possible word.
This historic win is a win for America. It's definitely a win for North Dakota.
Governor Doug Burgum is ecstatic about President-elect Donald Trump's historic comeback win Tuesday night. Burgum previously ran against Trump in the 2024 race for the Republican nomination, but after dropping out of the race, he was among the top contenders to become Trump's running mate. While he was passed up on that opportunity, the North Dakota governor proved himself an ardent supporter of the third-time Republican nominee.
You can't govern, you can't do a transition unless you win, and of course he won and won big on Tuesday night.
Now, after the former president's big win comes a transition period, to which Governor Burgum says the president-elect has sought his advice.
When asked, I've been giving them names for people that I think would be fantastic to support him in these efforts.
The president-elect has already named his first cabinet member, Susie Wiles, as chief of staff. The governor's name has been floated for a cabinet role himself, to which he says,
"It's been flattering, and I think it's a positive for North Dakota. I think we've now heard that my name has been on a short list for as many as a half a dozen different cabinet agencies, and I think it reflects North Dakota and the respect that people have for our state and the important role that the state is playing."
The North Dakota governor says the main thing he wants to offer the president-elect is his support.
What form of support would you offer the president as he assumes the office?
I think part of what I can offer him is someone that, whether I'm part of the administration or not, someone that he can trust, someone that he can, talk to that he knows is also been in the business world and understands how the business world needs to have smart government to continue to drive the economy going forward.
Eric George, Valley News Live.
Governor Burgum says there are more than 4,000 positions that need to now be filled at the White House.